Hey guys, this is CyberKnight8610 using my new flip camera. I just bought it yesterday because today's Monday now. It's supposed to be high quality and all that, so hopefully it looks really nice. I'm hoping everything works out on it. The last camera kind of died on me. I don't know what the deal is, so I went ahead and just got a different brand altogether, which is another flip camera. Now I have an older flip cameras, but I used to make my videos at the beginning, so I figured why not just get a better one of those, because that one's always worked for me. Anyway, hopefully I don't sound too bad. My throat's kind of messing up and stuff. The weather sucks here, and my allergies are all screwed up. I don't know why. Of course, I have allergies in the winter. So anyway, forgive me if I sound a little off, and I might cough or something here and there, or clear my throat. So yeah, anyway, on to the main stuff. This will probably be kind of a longer video, because this is part 2 on how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. Part 1, we went over a structure deck. I want to go ahead and say some things though first about playing Yu-Gi-Oh. First off, if you honestly are just starting to play Yu-Gi-Oh, alright, you might have looked at the comments on the last one. Some people were mentioning the ban list, stuff like that. Don't even think about the ban list. You know, I don't care if you have one of the very first structure decks, star decks, whatever you have, even the Yu-Gi or Kaiba ones at the beginning. Just forget about what the ban list is for now. We don't even want to think about that. But for now, you're just going to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. We'll go to more of the advanced stuff and how to, use the ban lists and how to build the deck right and different things like that. I plan to go really thorough through everything. I don't know how many videos it will be. Probably end up being like 100 episodes if it needs to be. But I'm going to help everyone and make sure, you're going to learn how to play. Also, if someone was mentioning watching the anime, that maybe for a beginner, really beginner, it might help a little. But remember that the anime isn't always right. Most of the time they kind of go a little bit off on most things. I don't think 5Ds goes off too much unless you watch the Turbo Duels, I think they're called, when they're on the motorcycles. Now those are a little, different. But I always liked GX because it seemed like they were, pretty spot on with the rules. But like the first Yu-Gi-Oh series, although it was awesome, I'm not, saying anything that it was sucked or anything like that. I'm not, downing it at all. But most of the time they kind of went with the rules and kind of did some weird stuff. So, you might not want to always go by those little rules that they went by. So yeah, just read your rule book and you'll know a lot of things on that. Anyway, on to this. This is all about monsters. Different monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. They're going to help you defend yourself, attack, everything. They will help you win the game, of course. Magics and traps just kind of help support the monsters, basically, throughout Yu-Gi-Oh. Alright, so the different types of monsters, let's go through them. Don't really pay attention to what the monster is, just pay attention to what type it is. And that's the reason, because I just went ahead and just grabbed a bunch of commons and stuff to go through. So it might be a weaker monster or whatever, but it's just here to demonstrate what type. Alright, Synchro Monster. This is a Synchro Monster. It has the white border, of course, and it just says, it will actually say Synchro right there. I will go over how to summon Synchros and different things like that later. Might be a little bit of glare. But yeah, that's a Synchro Monster. They will always have that. Sometimes they are really specific in summoning conditions and different things like that. Like I said though, we'll go over more of that in a different episode, probably a lot later. Next type, newest type probably, Synchro Tuners. They will say Synchro, just like the others, but they will also say Tuner. And they will have the white frame. So far this is the only one. And then, let's see, not the next set, but the set after that, I believe we're getting another one. So, there's probably only this one for now that you guys have to really memorize. And that's Formula Synchron. So yeah, these, I'll go over them later though on summoning conditions. Just know that there is a difference. Normal monsters. Normal have like a vanilla, like that's what they're referred to a lot of times as vanilla cards. They have like a vanilla, like tan look to them around the border, as you can see. So yeah, that's a normal monster. They don't have any ability. They usually have like something talking about the card, like a little short story, which is kind of neat most of the time. Always like reading these little things, right there. Fusion. Fusions are exactly what they are. They're fusion, two monsters that fuse together. They always have purple, as you can see, the purple around it. Like I said, we'll go talk about how to summon different things and all that later, though. Just don't even think about it for now. Ritual. They have blue. You can see the blue. And effect monsters. Effect monsters have a darker orange look to them. They are like normal monsters, but they have abilities. That's the only difference between them and normal monsters. Okay? So that's on the different types, you know, of like frames of cards and stuff. You just have to just remember those colors. Also, I do plan to go on rarities in a different video too, for people that are wondering about that. For now, we're just going over what types of monsters. Alright, now each monster has an actual type, whether it be machine, aqua, whatever. I'm going to go through each one. Aqua. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it says aqua right there. You'll find this always right here in this little upper left corner. And it will say aqua / effect on this one, because it is an effect monster, as you can see, because it has the orange, like we went over before. So, aqua. Also, each monster has a level as well, as you see these stars. You know, this one is a level 2, because 2 stars. We'll go over how to summon, you know, different things like that later, but that's how you know a monster's level as well. And of course, attack and defense are down here. Attack 100, defense 2000. As you can see, A, T, K is for attack, and D, E, F is for defense. So there you go. This one's an aqua one, though. This one is a beast. Beast warrior, one of the lesser known ones, you can kind of tell. Dinosaur. These guys have just kind of come back now since Jirax. Here's something that I need to really talk about on this too. Divine Beast. This one is perfectly legal to use in any kind of duel. You know, because it is an effect monster, as you can see. It's an effect monster. This one, or the other type of god cards, it's blue, so some people might be confused and think, well, it's a ritual. It's not. If you see a god card, which is Obelisk Tormentor, Slifer, or Raw, you know, they're all different colored, as you can see from the backs. They're not colored the same. You might think that they're fakes or something like that. They cannot be used in duels. You know, they're just there for collector's purposes. They look awesome. They're just from the show. You know, that's it. I mean, you could use them for fun if you wanted to or anything like that, but they are, honestly, you cannot use these in a tournament or anything. But these you can. That's what they were made. They're weaker versions, but they're still pretty cool. So I wanted to get that straight too, because that kind of does throw you off of the colors of the cards. Dragon. You can tell, most of the time you can just look at the image and you can kind of tell what type they are. Fairy. It will always say it right there too. And it will say / effect, because these are effect monsters. Fiend. Fish. Another one that a lot of people don't know of. It's kind of, you know, there's not many, I don't think. I think there's only like 20 or so fish monsters. Insect. Machine. Plant. One that wasn't that well known, and now it's pretty well known now. Psychic, our newest one. We got it in Duelist Genesis. Pyro. Reptile. Rock. Sea Serpent, another not well known one. Spellcaster. Like I said, these are just really random commons. Thunder. Not very well known either. Warrior. I think it's either Warrior or Dragon has the most. Not sure. Someone maybe can help me with that. Winged Beast. And Zombie. Those are the different types. I believe your rulebook will probably have something on that. And most decks are built around the type or attribute. We're going to go over the attributes right now. An attribute is this little like bubble thing right here that's next to the name. It will, you can read it. It's like little writing though, dark, and there's all kinds of different ones. But it will say it always right there, right above the level. Like that one's level 1, and it's a dark attribute. As you can see, it has like a purplish look, and it will actually say dark, like a little bitty writing. So yeah, somebody, if they make a deck, it will always be on attribute, it will be on type, or it will be on archetype, which we'll go over archetype at the end. But this is a dark one. Earth, as you can see, it's like a black almost. Dark is purple, which is kind of funny, and Earth is black. Fire, it's red. Light, of course, yellow, yellowish black, kind of. They all have like a black tint to them too. Blue for water. Wind, being green. And Then you have Divine, which is, again, God cards. Only have those. Just like last time, here's another one. It has yellow border, but you cannot use it in a duel. It is just for collector's purposes. I can't stress that enough. This version, though, of it is, it can be in a duel. There's not a legal version of Slifer yet either. I hope we get one soon, because the art on the others are awesome. But if this one can be played in a duel, this one cannot. So, hopefully you guys understand that. And they'll be the only ones that will have Divine. I don't even think well, I don't know if the Polar Gods even have Divine. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to check that out. But they're in the next set, so don't even think about that for now. Alright, see, I have everything written down, so I'm going to turn the page on my stuff. Alright, let's talk about archetypes. Archetypes are very simple to know about, really. They always work together. They're a type of monster that work together. Most of the time, you know what an archetype is because their name will be the same. For example, Gravekeepers. Good example. Actually, see, as you can see, this card's name is Gravekeepers Commandant. Gravekeepers Descendant. Gravekeepers Spear Soldier. Gravekeepers Spy. And Gravekeepers Chief. See, they all have Gravekeepers in them. That means they are an archetype. So not all the time will they have the name in there, but it'll be by the look of the art, or you'll just notice that their effects go together. And most of the time their effects work together, like Gravekeeper Spy, when he's flipped up, then you can summon another Gravekeeper's monster. So they all work together like that. So that's an archetype. So like I said before, a deck will be made, most of the time, of archetype, type, or attribute. As we know, the zombie structure deck that we opened at the beginning, I think most structure decks are like this too. They go by type, like this was zombie. And there's like dragon ones, there's another zombie one, I think there's 2 dragon ones, there's a warrior, water, pyro. They have a lot of different structure decks. Starter decks, mainly, just kind of a mix, really. That's the reason I didn't open one of those at the beginning. That's what I was trying to talk about at the beginning, in the first episode. That's the reason why I didn't choose one, because you don't really want to go with a mix. A lot of people that are starting the game kind of think that they want to play like the main characters, and main characters of Yugioh, I think everyone but Jaden kind of had more, which is, in GX, he had more of an archetype setup than the others. But they do more of a mix, and you don't really need to do that. A lot of people that are new to the game think that, and then they lose, and then they get aggravated about how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And sometimes they could quit and stuff, and we don't want that to happen. We want you to play, we want to get new players, of course, in this game. So, at the very beginning, when you're just learning, it can be fine to use a mix, but I suggest not even trying to go for a mix or anything like that, to try to go with an archetype build. Or at least type, or attribute even. Just something, just kind of get a theme going. That's what I always tell people that want me to look at different decks that they build. Always have a theme. I can't stress that enough because it really will help you. So yeah, that's an archetype. There are different types of effect monsters. This one is kind of more an advanced rule, but I think you guys can follow me on this, even if you are new. It's really not that hard. Alright, there are different types of effect monsters. You have regular effect monsters, of course, that just, like, Ultimate Tyranno. It just has an ability, you use it, and that's it. That's just plain and simple. Well, here are the other types. They're more than just effect monsters. 4-star Ladybug of Doom, which is kind of a funny name, I know. It is a flip effect. As you can see, before you can read the effect, I don't know if you guys can read it, it's such small writing and it's hard for even this camera. I don't know if any camera could get that perfect. But it says flip, and then it reads off the effect. So that means it has to be face down. Let's see, get it in the camera view. So face down, and when it's attacked, or you flip it yourself, you flip it up, and there you go. It uses its ability. So that's a flip effect monster. They're more of a defensive type effect monsters. Of course, we'll go over flip and different stuff like that. That's more of the summoning thing. So I'll teach you guys summoning like later on. So, don't worry about that yet. There's also Gemini. Here's an example, Toon Magician. As you can see, it says Spellcaster, and also next to it /Gemini. Sort of like how the Synchro Monsters, if you would have noticed, let's see, here, let me find that Synchro Monster, how it would have Warrior /Synchro /Effect. Well, they usually do it because it has an effect as well as being a synchro and a warrior. Well, this one, it has a spellcaster slash Gemini. Geminis are kind of in their own league, I guess you could say. They're a little different. They're normal monsters. This is kind of confusing, so try to follow me as best you can. They are normal monsters when they just are brought to the field. Okay, so let's just say you summoned it. Okay, you summon it. It's on the field now. Okay, it's your monster now on the field. Now to use its ability, right now it's just like if it was a normal monster, like one of these, where it has no ability. It just has its attack, defense, no effect whatsoever. But in your next turn, or if you use special spell cards to help you do this, if you re-summon it, okay, you just put it down, it wasn't attacked, it wasn't destroyed, it was fine throughout the whole turn. You summon it again, and then it becomes an effect monster. Then it gains this ability down here. As you can see, it has like a little black dot, and it'll say that. A lot of people don't know how Geminis work, and that's how they work. Unless you use a spell or trap, usually you have to wait, another turn or so to re-summon it. So you're basically summoning that monster twice to use its effect. And most of the time they have a powerful effect because of that. So yeah, that's how that is. Any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, and I'll try to describe things better. Hopefully I'm describing things pretty well. Spirit monsters. They're kind of another weird one. They have the same abilities. As you can see, they will say spirit. Of course, this one is a fairy spirit. They also, if you guys haven't noticed, all but flip monsters, if they're an effect monster, it will usually take the place of effect of what it says, because usually it would say fairy effect. Well, since it's a spirit, it says fairy spirit. So, and it's an effect monster because of the border. Always remember the border colors. Alright? But anyway, a spirit monster, they're a little different, as in, they have their normal ability, but they kind of have an ability that hurts them in some ways. They're a little stronger in some ways, too, because of this. Whenever a spirit monster is summoned, let's say, okay, I summon this monster. Alright, she is in face-up attack. Boom, okay? My turn ends, well, it goes back to my hand. And now I don't have a monster on the field. That's what spirits do. They go back to your hand at the end of the phase. So, that's the reason why they are spirits. It's like, they return back. Just like a spirit would. You can kind of see how they got that idea. Let's see, what's next? Tune. There's not many of these, actually. You might, if you watched some of the old Yugioh, you'll know these. They actually say Tune on them. And they look cartoonish, of course. But, like this one is Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. I think most of them say Tune in there, except for Manga Ryan. But it will say Dragon / Tune on this one, like it does. Toon monsters are a little odd. I believe it's something like only a Toon can attack a Toon. And Toons can attack opponents' life points directly. But they have a cost. Like, you have to pay so much life points. I don't know exactly, because, man, you won't probably see any of these in the game these days, because they are just really old. They actually need some support. I'd love to see more of these things, because they look funny. I love the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. It looks awesome. But, most of the time you have to, like, pay life points to keep them on the field and stuff like that. So they are kind of a double-edged sword, but you do get to attack directly. And by attacking directly, that means even if they have a monster, then you get to hit their life points directly. But of course we'll try to go more into that later, but just remember that for now, and whenever I go over that stuff, you'll realize what I meant. Throat's bothering me. Alright, there we go. Tuners. Tuner monsters, one of the newer types of effect monsters. As you can see, this one is a warrior tuner, so it says warrior / tuner. Tuner monsters bring out synchros, which this is a synchro. So, I'll talk more about the synchro summoning later, but you just always remember levels. Levels always come in handy like this. Level 3 tuner, so that's pretty good. It's not too bad. Level 4 tuners are probably the best in some cases. But yeah, it can bring out the synchro monsters. That's the reason we have them. That's basically all it can do. Most of the time they're weaker because of this, because they combine with other monsters to make these stronger synchro monsters. Although he's not a very good example, I know, because he's not really a strong synchro. And the last one, Union. Union monsters, of course, they will, just like all the others, this one is a machine union, so it will say, machine union. They always say what ability, or whatever other type they are, is what I mean. Union monsters, they become like equip cards. I know I'm kind of going ahead of myself, but I'll go ahead and try to describe this the best I can. You can't really do this in a duel, this part, because he can only equip to certain monsters, but let's just say that he's the Gravekeeper Spy is a certain monster. A Union monster becomes like an equip card. An equip card is a magic card that actually combines with a monster and makes it stronger. Gives it certain abilities, where they're being not destroyed by battle, a boost in power. There's always something to it. Alright? Well, let's say these are on the field. You have to actually summon the Union monster and bring him out. Okay? And you can only summon once per turn, so you can see how that can sometimes be trouble. Alright, like I said, just pretend that he is the monster that can be unioned. Alright, use its ability, and it unions. It becomes an equip, so then it goes in the spell or trap zone. It's treated as one in the end then. So then it can protect it. If, like, say my Gravekeeper Spy is attacked, well, he gets destroyed in its place. Also, they add special abilities to that monster, so maybe it could keep it from being destroyed. There's all kinds of other things. But like I said, this one isn't a specific one. This one, I believe, only needs, like, a Cyber Dragon, or monsters that are fused with Cyber Dragon. So, you know, of course, he can't actually go with Gravekeeper Spy, but that was just kind of an example. That's what unions are. They combined like that, and they come equipped cards. Sort of like what the new Dragoonities do. Alright, and let's see, we're done with those types of monsters. Like I said, this is going to be a long video. We're already up to 20 minutes. Dang, it's going to take a while to upload. Different types of monsters. Now, I don't really have an example of each one of these cards, but just try to listen to what I'm saying the best you can. I might end up pasting this into the description. I might actually just paste all this in the description or something, or make a page on my website just for this, so you guys will have a guide. Alright. There are types of monster abilities, even. It goes, this is more of an advanced rule, so, you know, please try to stay with me the best you can. A continuous monster effect is one type. Continuous monster effects come into play as soon as the monster is brought out, whether it be summoned, any kind of summoning, you know, when it's brought out, the effect stays until the monster is destroyed. So, you know, that's one type. Like, for example, Ultimate Tyranno, his ability works no matter, you know, as long as he's on the field, because it works on him, you know, where he can attack more than one monster. So that would be an example. Once he's destroyed, though, his effect goes away. Like it was never there. So that's kind of a good example, I guess. Ignition monster effects. They require some kind of manual activation by the controller during the main phase 1 or 2. Whether it be paying life points, or you just saying, activate this card's ability, and different things like that. Let's see, I might have an example here. Give me just a sec. Yeah, here's one. Gravekeeper's Descendant. You can tribute one face-up Gravekeeper's monster you control, except this card, to destroy one card your opponent controls. See, you would have to use this ability. You would say, I choose to use this card's ability. So that's an ignition effect. And there's also some where we pay life points, different things like that. But it's something you have a choice in what happens. It's not like when it's first summoned. Flip monster effects. We went over that. 4-star Ladybug of Doom, once it's flipped. Some monsters, though, they have to be flipped manually, whether it be in your main phase 1 or 2, which we'll go over that kind of stuff later, you know, or if they are attacked. Sometimes, though, they will have to be manually flipped. It will usually say that on the card. Like this one, though, it can be attacked, and the effect will still activate. But some of them, you know, you will have to do it yourself. And, of course, when you summon a monster face down, you cannot flip it the same turn, so you usually have to wait a turn. So that's why they sometimes get harder to do. Trigger abilities. These are activated when a certain condition is met on the field. Like it's not really that you have a choice in activating it. It's just like once the condition is met, boom, activate. So that's kind of the way they're used. I don't think I have a card that can really describe it, but it's just one of those things like I'm trying to think of an example. I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but it's just one that whenever something, like your opponent does something special, then this card's effect will activate. You know, it's one of those kind of things. Like if your opponent has one card in their hand, let's say if the effect says that, well then that card's effect would activate. Quick effects. They are multi-trigger effects, is what they were previously known as. They can activate during your turn or your opponent's turn. So they're different effects like, you know, can negate battle, different things like that. So that would be an example. Compulsory effects. I'm trying to go a little faster. I know we're almost out of time. Compulsory effects are effects that must resolve. They are not optional at all. For example, Caius the Shadow Monarch, I don't have one with me, unfortunately, at the moment. But when it's summoned to the field, its effect has to activate. Most Monarch cards, as you guys will know, and we'll go over more, it's an archetype, so you guys can look that up if needed. Most of them have that ability, where, like, for example, he has to remove a card from the field from play. It doesn't matter if you don't want to or not. Once you summon him, you have to do that. And that could mean, if he's the only card on the field, he would remove himself from play because you don't have a choice. So that's a compulsory effect. Hear the police in the background. They're coming after me. Anyway, optional monster effects. They're kind of trigger effects that don't happen automatically. You have to wait for more of a condition. For an example, I think Pyramid Turtle counts as one, because it has to be destroyed to use it, so that you would think that would be a trigger, because it automatically activates. Yet, you could still say, no, I don't want to search through the deck for another zombie. Like, that's what his effect does. He can search through the deck after he's destroyed. It will activate, but you can still say, no, I don't want to do that. And it will just stop. So that's an optional monster effect. So you still have the power, whether, you want to do that or not. And that sums up monster effects. Golly. That's a good thing I made partnership where I can make longer videos. Long video, probably not going to cut it down at all. And yeah, hopefully this described everything for you guys. I've tried to go in really a lot of detail. I will either have a web page, which will be in the description, of course, which will be down there, or I will just copy and paste this all to it. More likely it'll be a web page, though, because it's going to be a lot of stuff. I have like 3 pages of stuff I read off for you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helped you. Any questions at all, please send me a message, comment, do something, because I want to make sure that we have a few new players out there. A lot of people, they don't like newer players or whatever. I don't know what the deal is on that, but I want more newer players to the game, because more newer players, more players we have, more Yu-Gi-Oh will keep going. So of course we want to have more players. So yeah, like I said, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like these videos. I will try not to be too long, but I want it to be thorough with this video. And yeah, if you love openings, deck videos, and I'm going to have binder updates and stuff pretty soon, check it out. Hopefully the quality was good too. This first time using this camera. Right, and yeah, that's all. Bye, YouTube.